Everyone wants more speed ups in Rise of Kingdoms, so in this video, we're going to talk about every single way that you can get speed ups in Rise of Kingdoms in 2020. Hello my friends and welcome back. I'm Chisgule Gaming. Today we're going to be talking about how you get more of these right over here. The good stuff, the speed ups. If you like Rise of Kingdoms guides that help you get value and smash your enemies, consider smashing the subscribe button for daily Rise of Kingdoms videos. We're a sponsored content creator and we have been really thinking about every single way that you can get more of these speed ups right over here, because who doesn't want more speed ups? Now there's a couple categories of ways that you can get speed ups. There are so many different things you can do. There are in-game stores. There are in-game activities. There is action point spending. There is events that do not require action points. There's gems. There's money you can spend. There are even things you can do that have the same effect as speed ups. So in this video, we're going to break it down across all those categories to help you get more speed ups and train more troops in Rise of Kingdoms. Now, the first category we're going to talk about is the in-game stores, and there are many. The first store we want to talk about is the Mysterious Merchant or Courier Station. She shows up periodically, and you can trade either resources or gems for speed-ups. My recommendation to you is that you trade resources for speed-ups, but not your precious gems. Those gems, unless you're a big spender, are better spent elsewhere, and we'll talk about that later in this video. The next area where you can spend currency in an in-game store to get speed ups is in the Expedition Medal store. Periodically, you'll see speed ups show up over here, and I think you should buy those pretty much every time they show up. The next place that you can get tons of speed ups, if you have some gems to spare, and there are some that you can use resources for, is the VIP shop. The VIP shop resets every week, and even if you just have the lowest tier of VIP, you can spend resources to get speed ups, and you should do that every single week. You should also pick up the action points because you'll convert those into speed ups later on. Now, if you do have gems to spend, I do think that the 8-hour and 24-hour speed ups are really solid value if you're spending gems in this shop. The next shop that's in the game is the Alliance shop. You can spend your Alliance currency to pick up 3-hour speed ups or lower increments. My recommendation to you is to pick up the higher increments of speed ups because you get better value for the amount of Alliance currency that you spend. I, however, don't spend any Alliance currency here on speed ups. Instead, I use them for civilization changes and teleports. Now, if you've got plenty of those or you're not swapping civilizations, then yeah, you can go and you can get speed ups over here or VIP if you want, and those are great pickups. Now, the next category of activity that we need to get a look at is in-game activities that can get you speed ups, and there are many. First and foremost, of course, you've got your daily quest line. The daily quest line has speed ups in addition to a gold key, which can give you even more speed ups. There's even some action points in here, which you can convert into speed ups. Obviously, get your daily quest done. One thing that people maybe don't put as much emphasis on, however, is the Peerless Scholar. You can go in and do this quiz event every single day, and when you do that, you get a small amount of speed ups as well, depending on how you perform. Yet another game mode where you can go and pick up some speed ups is Canyon. Make sure you use your attempts every single day. Even if you lose, you're going to get some speed ups. There are season-related rewards, and they are going to make these rewards a little bit easier to obtain. I think they're making the tiers a little wider in an upcoming patch. So that also will help and make it even more important to at least show up in this game mode and use your attempts that you have. Up next is the Expedition. Now, the Expedition is something that I would recommend that you push as far as you can, as frequently as you can kind of make a push to get meaningful ground on your own expedition. I'm not so good at doing this on my restart and farm account, so maybe do what I say and not what I do on that one. But you do get a small amount of speed ups, I believe, from claiming these every day. It could just be Tomes of Knowledge. Maybe I'm misremembering. But in the very least, the currency you get will ultimately be used in the metal shop, and certainly there you're going to get some speed ups. The next way that you can get speed ups in the game is the Lucerne Scroll. The Lucerne Scroll is an in-game activity. Even at the free-to-play tier of this event, There are some speed ups available, and you can see those over here. Certainly worth doing your daily activities and claiming the rewards right over here in the daily gift, and then also doing at least some of these challenges, which you're probably going to do anyways, to get the free speed ups in the Lucerne Scroll. The next way that you can get speed ups, and this is an in-game activity, but not really an event and not something that's in your control for most players in the kingdom, but for one player in the kingdom, there is the ability to distribute the kingdom gifts. The kingdom gifts can contain speed ups, and it actually keeps a record now of who has received the gift. Okay, well, there's no record at this exact moment. Well, that's a little embarrassing, but you get the idea. Maybe it'll show those after I distribute them. Either way, speed ups contained in these bundles, which are really nice. The king can give those out every single time that the Lost Temple cycles for contention. The next way that you can get speed ups in the game is from Barbarian Camps and Keeps. You can get a small amount of speed ups running around doing Barbarian Camps and Keeps. The camps are in yellow, the keeps are in red and get an exclamation point when they're attackable. The keep you should be doing every 3 days because you can have a very high chance of getting materials as well. And the barbarian camps, you really go and do those to get blueprints that you're going to use to craft equipment. However, you can also get a few speed ups on the way. I thought I would mention it. Now, the last in-game activity that I could think of that doesn't involve an in-game store or spending action points is gold and silver keys. You can use your gold and silver keys. You can get potentially a small amount of speed ups, or in this case, not. And you can see in the reward list all those different items that can be obtained and what their probability are. There's the speed ups right over there for the gold keys, and then for the silver keys, you can see those as well. Now we're getting into a more meaty topic, which is action point related speed up gain. There are a lot of speed ups that you can get from spending action points. There's things that you can do all the time, and there are things that happen sometimes or periodically. Let's start with the things you can do all the time for speed ups, and that is barbarians and barbarian forts. Now, there is a small chance to get speed ups every time you take down a barbarian, especially when you're in Kingdom versus Kingdom, and there are higher level barbarians. The amount of speed ups you get from just battling barbarians is very meaningful. I would make the argument that barbarians are better to fight than barbarian forts, and the reason that that is the case is that with the barbarian fort, you're going to get maybe some Books of the Covenant, and if you need those, that's a good pickup, but you're going to not get gems like you will with barbarians. And the gems you can use in a lot of places to leverage for value. So I think all the time, barbarians are generally some pretty good value for spending down your action points. Now, there are some things that happen sometimes or periodically, events that show up, such as Eve of the Crusade, a supply event for Gathering Commander sculptures, or Lohar's Trial. These events that show up sometimes are extremely high leverage, high value. One of those events that's happening right now is Eve of the Crusade, and this is arguably the very best place to spend your action points in the game, bar none, if what you want is some speed ups. Just to illustrate how insane this is, I'll open some of these Kingdom supply chests, and we'll show you just how many speed ups you might end up with. But this Eve of the Crusade shows up when your Kingdom versus Kingdom event is going to show up for your Kingdom. It happens before the Kingdom versus Kingdom map opens and everybody teleports in. If you haven't ever done Kingdom versus Kingdom before, I'll put a card up in the top for my ultimate KVK guide. Certainly worth checking that out. So you run around, you kill these special marauders. The marauders drop loot, including satchels. You combine the pages contained in the satchels to get a Kingdom supply chest, and you can get astonishing amounts of speed ups. I've got 25 Kingdom supply chests, and contained within it, we've got 3 24-hour speed ups, 100 gems, 4 3-hour speed ups, and 6 8-hour speed ups as well. I mean, like, pretty amazing. There's even a chance to get 3-day speed ups in here, which is kind of nuts. This is a very high leverage event for spending your action points to get speed ups. If you're in KVK or the events leading up to it now, the Eve of the Crusade, this is really the jam. And if you're wondering how many action points you should spend on this, enough so that you get as much as you can here while remaining to have enough action points for maxing out the honor-related rewards in KVK. So you want to still be able to max the honor-related rewards. That is probably to the tune of 100,000 action points. If you haven't saved up 100,000 action points over time, that will be a very achievable thing. If you're in the early game, that will sound like an astonishing amount, and for you it would be. But this is far and away, I think, the best event to go and spend your AP on to get speed ups. Okay, so other events that don't involve action points can also give you astonishing amounts of speed ups. I will name a few of these, but if you want to see which ones are upcoming in your kingdom, just head over to the event calendar and you can do that. We've had a number of events recently, such as the Golden Kingdom, rewards lots of speed ups, Ian's Ballads, the Supply Caravan event, Soroli Crisis, you can use your currency to get speed ups. There are even periodic troop training events like the one that we have going on right now, Training Day. You can get a few speed ups in here. Doesn't look like there's very many. I mention this because there are events that come around on a periodic basis that are certainly worth doing. And arguably, one of the very best events for that is one that shows up once every 2 weeks. And you basically train a small amount of troops that are tier 2 or higher every single day. I think it's 3,000, and it'll give you a gold key and some speed ups. And there's another one where you do 2,000 of each troop type and it gives you speed ups. Definitely worth doing those events, even if it means training some lower tiers of troops and then upgrading them later. Now you may be wondering, well, Chisgule, what about gem related ways to get speed ups? And in addition to some of the stores that we've already showed, there are some really great ways to spend gems to get speed ups. A couple of those events include More Than Gems, the Wheel of Fortune, Card King, and heck, even Garden of Infinity. Garden of Infinity, card up in the top if you want to see the last time we did that. It's pretty funny, we get a little bit wrecked. There are a lot of ways that you can spend your gems with periodic events that are very high leverage, high value to get speed ups and other things that are very good for your account. Now, of course, there are ways that you can spend money to get speed ups, but even that is limited in a single day of time, how many speed ups exactly you can get. You could be buying the City of Hope, War Machine, Fountain of Wisdom, and heck, you could even do New World Bundle or Hammer and Anvil, and you'll probably get to the tune of like 120 days of speed ups if you max purchase like all of these. I think max purchasing any one of these bundles is typically around 30, 33-ish days, 36-ish days of speed ups total. And I mention this because, look, I've had people come to me in a bind and they're like, Chisgule, I'm like, I just got bumped in a second for this event that I really care about. Like, what do I do? And it's like, well, like, besides all the things we've mentioned, like if you're buying bundles, there's actually only so much you can do. These are the sorts of things that like you have to think ahead if you're going to be buying. And like, look, I think there's a lot of higher value bundles than the ones that you see in here. That is definitely the case. You don't see King's Coronation in here because we've already max purchased it. And apparently they used to show it like right over here, but now they don't anymore. There are other things that you can buy. I think one of the highest value items here is the Treasure of the King at the $3 tier. The reason I like this is that not only does it have speed ups and a gold key, it's also got action points. And as we were just talking about, you can convert action points into resources, speed ups, and gems. And then of course, gems you can convert into lots of other good stuff too. So I like this bundle if you wanted some AP. Another way that you can get speed ups with gems or money, rather, is here, the 7-day speed up supply. I found that when I did the math on this, it was fairly low value. So this is one of the very last places I might go and like spend money. And it's been a while since I've done an evaluation to say like, hey, is this $5 bundle going to be more speed ups than some of these other bundles? But just getting a quick look here, if you spend $5 over the course of 7 days, you will get 3,150 minutes of speed ups. Now, if you are going to spend money on any of these things, my strong recommendation for you is that you wait for a recharge event. If you're watching this around the time that this video is going live, then there should be one coming very, very soon. They frequently happen in alignment with holiday events, and they do seem to announce the holiday events in patch notes before they show up in the game, so you do get a little bit of a heads up that that is on its way. Now, of course, if you wanted a really high value way to get gems to then use for speed ups, the 30-day gem supply is actually a very high amount of value compared to the other options that you have in here. The last category of speed ups that I want to talk about is things that actually act like speed ups, but are not actually speed ups. There are things that give you buffs, and there are also things that reduce the time that it takes to do stuff. Let's talk first about the buffs. If you are training, building, researching, there are holy sites that can really help with that. For example, we've got healing speed of 20%. We've got a research, building, and training speed of 5% boost here. This is making it so you don't have to use as many speed ups. Just being in an alliance that has this stuff gets you this benefit. Similarly, there is alliance technology that will help you with city construction and research. So that is building speed and research speed. Doesn't help with troop training speed though, kind of a bummer. But being in an alliance that's got really great tech can help speed things up. And some people actually swap into alliances that have all these holy sites for critical activities like a major research or a building that they're lining up, like City Hall 25. Another thing that you can do is you can travel around the map and you can get a rune. Runes drop from holy site guardians, such as the Lost Temple Guardians, where you'll find the best runes in the kingdom. If you're lucky, you can get a 15% speed to troop training or to building speed or research speed. In this case, you can see here's 15% training speed. Make sure you get the rune and then queue up whatever it is that you're going to train or research. It does not help to get the rune after you've queued up the training, research, or building. It takes a snapshot of the amount of time that it would take to complete whatever it is that you're queuing up at the exact time that you queue it up. So if you have the buff, you basically get this buff for the whole duration of the troops cooking up or the research happening or whatever it is that you're doing, even if it's longer than how long the rune will last for you, which is typically between 30 minutes to an hour. A couple other ways that you can potentially get some buffs here are with city skins. There is a fancy skin that gives you 3% training speed. Most people won't get access to that. And there is also civilizations to keep in mind. I'm currently using Germany for the 5% troop training speed. There is also Britain for troop training speed, Korea for research speed, and China for building speed. My strong recommendation is that if you pick China in the early game, that you swap off it after most of your buildings are done. And if you pick Korea, my recommendation to you is to only do so if you're going to speed up a lot of stuff in a short period of time, because basically you only get the value of this research speed like when you're queuing up research. So for a short period of time, queue up, speed up, burn through a ton of speed ups, get through a ton of research, then you can switch to something else, because otherwise, this doesn't really give you any benefit beyond when you are queuing up new research. And in general, I really think mostly just high spenders should maybe even make that move. No, there's something else we should talk about that helps you all the time. And now this is not a buff, but a thing that speeds things along, and that's the Alliance Center. Your Alliance Center controls the number of times that you can be helped. Every time you're helped, there's a reduction in the time remaining for whatever it is that you're doing, building, research, healing even as well. And there is a 1% increase or speed reduction that you get every time somebody helps you. It takes 1% of the time off, and it gives an additional amount of time taken off based off of your alliance's technology. The technology that helps with that specifically is Together We Rise. At the max level, this is taking an additional 2 minutes off of the total time every time you're helped, which, like, look, it does make a difference to get those helps. So if you are going to use speed ups, just make sure that you go in and you check that you've been helped the max number of times for whatever it is that you've queued up. I suppose you can't get help for training. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier, but that would be sort of a blunder. Awkward. You can't get help for training. Everything else you can get help for. Building, research, healing. Those you can get helps for. And you can see how many times you've been helped in this screen over here. It'll keep showing up even when you've been helped the max number of times. And right now I have nobody to help, so it doesn't show anybody in here requesting help. And by the way, helping people will give you a small amount of alliance currency. Speaking of your alliance, for just one more moment, there is one other way you can go and get some speed ups every single day, which is by donating to Alliance Technology. I released a video, 12 hacks for Rise of Kingdoms. One of the hacks is going in and saving up your opportunities to donate. You can see you can get 20 chances at max. Wait until reset. Boom, drop all those chances, and then keep using your chances until reset hits again, and then wait a day, save them up. And that way you go into that day with like a huge burst of donations and points. You have a much higher opportunity to win that day. And yeah, you're not going to win the next day, but you win one day and don't win the next day. And every other day you're, getting some amount of free speed ups, which is pretty chill. And you're not actually donating any more or less than you would have otherwise. You're just timing it so that you have 20 chances queued up for when reset hits. One other way that you can get speed ups is in the monument. The monument is in your city. There are events that take place when you're on your way to unlocking and defeating the Lost Temple. There's also Lost Kingdom Chronicles. And man, I haven't even really gone into KVK a whole heck of a lot, but like in Kingdom versus Kingdom, there's Honor Gain, there's Lost Kingdom Chronicles, all kinds of good stuff to get speed ups in there as well. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, do me a favor, throw a like on the video and leave a comment down below if there were any ways to get speed ups that you didn't know about, or if there was something in here that you hadn't thought about before. For a lot of people, spending action points on Eve of the Crusade was not something they had considered. Spending action points on barbarians instead of barbarian forts was not something they'd considered. And look, I get it. If you're still working on your castle, then you might be tempted to do the barbarian forts. And look, the advantage of doing the barbarian forts is that everybody in your alliance has a chance to get gifts that can give action points. So there is still a lot of value to those barbarian forts. I don't want to oversell the barbarians, right? Like, this AP is super real. Your alliance should be rallying barbarian forts at every opportunity, if for no other reason than to hook everybody up with the AP, right? But let me know in the comments which thing was new to you, if anything. And I bet you I missed something, so let me know what it is. If you're looking for more videos about how to gain power fast or get value, check the card up in the top. I'll put 2 videos, one for gaining power as a free-to-play player and one for gaining power ridiculously fast. Both, I think, are super insightful, and hopefully you enjoy them. Until next time, my friends, you have fun smashing the kingdom.